Greetings, my name is Mars. I am the host of the Watchers Prophecy News, only on www.kdov.us, America's best Christian radio station. You can find us here every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. for our rebroadcast. You can also find us on TuneIn and Shoutcast under the search term KDUB Radio. Or you can come and join our private think tank of some of the most elite thinkers on the end times ever. We're called the Watchers Society. We're on Facebook under the search term Watchers Society. Our nearly 20-year-old think tank on the end of days and the Lord's return will be very happy to have you. Now, I'm not here to preach any kind of fear. Not even a preacher. We don't have a spirit of fear, and I'm here today to, however, show you the vile tyranny of a world gone mad, handed right over to the devil himself. I have some shocking revelations tonight that may move your heart to prepare even faster. Get ready, this is the Watchers Prophecy News. Now, it's my contention that the globalists will not stop and do anything to maintain control over the populace. They will murder anyone and everyone who gets in their way. Today, humanity is a steak. That's it. Totally unaware that it is about to be on the very grill. However, the final chapter is on the way. It reads, one world war is around the corner, and no one but a few are listening to me at all. No one's believing me. No one's watching. You best be totally aware this will come, as Zechariah said, as a thief in the night. And when you're faced with sudden destruction and the beast comes, what will you do? Who will you turn to then? Dear listeners, I want you to hear this quote. Today, America would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told that there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all peoples of the world will plead to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by a world government. This is a promise from Lucifer himself. Ladies and gentlemen, that quote was by Dr. Henry Kissinger. The last Bilderberger conference. You know, just a few days ago, Reverend Graham said that Christians must support Donald Trump or face death camps. Now, I find Reverend Graham a very sane man. I believe that most born-again Christians like him. Franklin Graham, son of the famed preacher Billy Graham, urged Christians to vote for 3 times married casino owner Donald Trump. According to Graham, who feels Trump has been, quote, chosen by God, the reality TV star was the only thing standing between Christians and death camps. Folks, this is Franklin Graham. Liberal Democrats are openly hostile toward Christians, said Graham in an interview with WEHW Radio. We don't survive 4 more years of Democrat-led government. We can't. I can see them rounding up Christians and putting us in death camps unless we follow their laws that they want to grant special rights. Certain individuals, the rich, gays, transgendered people. So Christians need to vote for Trump because he embodies our values, said Reverend Graham. Apparently, many evangelical Christians feel that they are under siege. Fox News commentator Bill O'Reilly has done several segments on the alleged war on Christians, war on Christmas. Right Wing Watch reported Carl Gallup's Gallup polls, an end-time preacher as well, told World Net Daily that the U.S. government was currently at war with Christians. Now, he gleaned that information while being a guest at the White House. So, if I'm invited all the way to the White House and this is what I gleaned from going there, something is deadly wrong. In my opinion, this particular election is right up there with presidential elections before and during the Civil War, said Gallups. We are in a kind of societal civil war right now. And we are certainly in a great spiritual civil war in our nation, perhaps one like never before. You know, there have been multiple civilian sightings as of late. Not just a few, not just a couple, but multiple, so many that now it's overpowering the evidence, the weight of the evidence. Of strange aircraft landing at American Air Force bases, all carrying UN markings. A friend of mine, a Vietnam vet, has been back and forth to Overton Brooks VA Medical Hospital 3 times a week this month alone. It's at Barksdale Air Force Base, one of the most secure Strategic Air Command SAC bases in the nation. Has had seen himself very unusual C-130s, C-136s fly into Barksdale and land at all hours. There's a big interstate that runs in front of the side in front of the base, and it's clearly visible with no restraints. A lot of people are seeing it. These flights have been reported by other citizens, and several of the military men who work inside the base have reported that UN troops are now being given military clothing, military housing, name tags, going through our little processes for remote training. When our servicemen question this, soldiers are told they didn't see what they just saw. That's come to me directly, folks. Base operations refused to confirm or deny or discuss these sightings when I attempted to call them. Folks, too many witnesses now to be a lie. Why are they doing this? Why? They know a war is coming. Trust me, they know. They have the quantum computing power and these massive web bots now that read literally the future. If you don't know anything about that, go to Cliff High's website and ask Cliff High if he ever showed this program to the government. You'll find out years ago that he did. Government computers are a little bit better. They can almost read the news of tomorrow. Don't think that Obama isn't briefed on these things. What most people don't know is that the Great Deception is on the way. Now, Putin's recent purge of his own Navy, that staff, Black Sea staff, because they would not stand up to the United States and NATO forces, has been fixed. And Putin has made it crystal clear this very week that if these missiles are loaded, and they are being this week in both Poland and Romania on these new launchers that we just put there, that there would be war. See, they can stand everything there is, but they cannot stand to have all of their nuclear missiles shot down before they're launched. He also said that he would not allow these missiles or else. That was this week. That is a direct quote from Putin. Nobody's listening. Nobody seems to care. Lately, these reports regarding the presence of foreign troops in the United States working with our own armed forces have been hitting public awareness. It's all over the internet. Originally, government sources denied these reports, and they really didn't trickle down for quite a while. But now, officials are confirming that eyewitnesses all along have been reporting. You can find this at www.saveamericafoundation.com. They do some good reporting there. Russia herself confirms that the Obama administration has requested 15,000 Russian troops to train with FEMA under UN control in the event of a crap hit the fan scenario, particularly in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. This has been confirmed, by the way. The question is why. It appears that foreign troops are working with U.S. troops practicing on urban warfare, civil unrest, and civil disturbance scenarios everywhere. Colorado, Russian UN troops practicing to deal with terrorist raids and martial law scenarios have been proven correct by our own U.S. armed forces. Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado, is another base being used to bring in UN personnel by the hundreds. The goal is over 10,000 to come by January 1st to be deployed for Strong Cities Network under the premise we will need them for some large event soon. Oh, I've got some news for you. You know, this makes you wonder if you own a gun by the UN's own definition, are you a terrorist? Well, are you, Mr. and Mrs. Prepper? Do you believe in our national sovereignty? Do you still believe in our Constitution? Do you believe in religious liberty and freedom of speech? Do you believe in the right to own guns and bear arms? Are you prepared to stand up and fight for your freedom? If an order of martial law is imposed, then by the very UN New World Order definition, you are a terrorist. It's written right on their plaque, right in front of the UN building, by the twisted barrel of the gun. Problem with these foreign troops being trained to intervene on American soil, Strong Cities deployment, which will occur here, is that they have no loyalty to our own Constitution, our love of our freedom. They have no loyalty to the inherent rights that have always been ours as American citizens, our way of life, our history. They have no basis for restraint in any action that they might perceive as necessary. Regardless of our laws, they have no constitutional right to interfere in the internal events of our nation. You'd think, oh, there's laws against that. No, those have all been done away with. There's not one single law standing in the way of strong cities. NATO and the UN have the same goal, same mission, same function, to subvert the sovereignty of the United States and the rest of the world, turning us all into fascist worldwide state. Our government officials have proven time and again here lately that they just can't be trusted. Congress is nothing more than a rubber stamp, it seems, what the administration wants. Certainly not the representative body of the citizens as it should be. Certainly not as it was in 1776. What kind of catastrophic event is this administration preparing to implement now in order to seize control they so desperately want? They've already got BLM and the Black Panthers up in arms, but they've already got these riots at the Republican convention, the Democratic convention, but that's not enough. It's not enough to deploy strong cities yet. Obama hasn't come out yet on national TV the way I know he will, and he will say, oh, the police need help. It's coming. All right, folks, on to the big story of the day. In a shocking linked news, and this is coming directly from the very top echelon in Germany, Folks, I have this confirmed. That they have now declared, Merkel has declared Russia to be its enemy and has been preparing military plans now to go to war with a massive grizzly bear. Oh, you think I'm kidding? Sound a little bit like World War II. According to a report issued on June 6th in German Economic News, that's Deutsche Winterkraft Nachrichten, or DWN, I probably murdered that. The German government is preparing to go to war against Russia. This has Merkel's stamp on it. And it has, in draft form, the Bushwander report declaring Russia to be an enemy of the German nation this very week. That's right. Merkel has signed off. It is official. Russia is now a state enemy of Germany. The DWN says the Russian secret services have apparently thoroughly studied the decree. This may be explained why there is such a massive number of NATO troops building up right now in Eastern Europe, and why Germany, for the first time since World War II, has added to its troops to the Russian border. Not just added, folks. 6 massive armored battalions this very month have rolled up to the Russian border. Not being reported on, not being told anywhere. NATO seems to be beating the Russian bear with their sticks. Not going to take long. Chairman of the Russian State Affairs has wrote back, Chancellor Merkel, and said that they are very displeased. And Putin and the Duma Underspeaker Zerzinski, if I didn't murder his name, and others have said they will, however, plan and dispense a Russian nuclear strike on NATO, and this is real. Okay? Oh, Mars, how do you know this is real? How do you know, Mars? What? Show me some proof, Mars. Okay. Sergei Lavrov said we will go to war versus NATO and not allow U.S. missiles in Poland and Romania, repeating what Putin said earlier this week, and will make a preemptive strike as NATO is positioning itself for a world war, and no one is talking about this anymore. No one's talking about using the Iran threats as reason for such deployment of these missiles. That excuse is long dead and over with. These are being loaded this week into launchers now in Poland and Romania. And we're now determined, after the great German announcement, somehow stop it. It's coming right out of Russia. Nobody's paying attention. Folks, we are so close to world crisis. .ru is now reporting that they will give a preemptive strike versus the West over these missiles. Situation in Donbass, Ukraine, is alone is very critical, and it may become the new Cuban Missile Crisis, where NATO would use this issue in Ukraine to get NATO involved in a grand war with Russia. Germany's ready. German newspapers are reporting this, and there is bound to now be a large mobilization. I believe you're going to see that very soon, next couple of weeks, of German troops and others, as this is just about to go off. And I believe that Russia will give the USA a sneak attack over this. I do believe it. Russia believes that NATO will attack in August or September of this year. That is the Duma's findings. Putin wasn't playing when he said he will not allow these missiles to be loaded on these launchers. Russia's not bluffing this time. And we'll see Germany set us up for a nuclear strike when Russia fears there is no other way, no other path. Russia News is now reporting demands now to remove these missiles and remove NATO, as Putin said, because there's other statements as well. Here's one. That if Hillary is elected, there will be a world war. Putin said that this week as well. You wonder why Putin may be aiding Donald Trump? That's probably why. So let's get some of that. Why do they want us in World War III? What they want is a new world order. What they want is to control the population. What they want is a society with a one world religion and a society ready to submit to the Great Deception. Last October, for example, and this has already happened as well, as re-happened now 4 times, and it's going on right now. Last October, this was published by Senator Rand Paul, and I want you to read this. I want you to listen to this. He says, last night while you were sleeping, the Senate voted to steal $150 billion for Social Security Trust Fund. 34 Republicans stood up. Some even called at their houses over dinner in a vote to prevent this raid. He goes on to say, I would like to thank Senator Ron Paul, that's his father, for leading the fight to protect Social Security from the thieves in Washington who seem to think that if they steal from the American people at night while they're sleeping, that they will somehow get away with it. But it's too late now. You see, already since October, President Imam Obama, that's my new name for him, Imam Obama, he is an imam. He has little by little tacked on bills that his crew has run through both the House and the Senate that uses Social Security money for their funding, and they have nothing to do with Social Security. Like the F-35 fighter, go look up some of the sources of its funding, and several space alien detection programs. Really? Space alien detection programs? Think I'm playing. As well as even money for foreigners to relocate here and have housing totally free of cost. Now Obama is just mainlining them to housing authority through executive action, and it's coming right out of the Social Security Fund. And he's not even hiding it anymore. Oh, there's more. And it's about to make you sick. All right, let me get to this scripture in Revelations 24 through 6. I want you to hear this because it's going to set you up for what I say next. I saw thrones on which were seated those who had been given authority to judge. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony about Jesus and because of the word of God. They had not worshipped the beast and its image, nor had received the mark on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended, by the way. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy are those who share in the first resurrection. The second death has no power over them, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and will reign with him for 1,000 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got some interesting news. A lot of people recently have questioned me and said, Mars, I don't believe in those body bags we've been seeing on these trucks. That's some old photograph circulating. Mars, I don't know. I don't understand this U.S. government thing recently purchasing 30,000 guillotines. Did they really do that? Yes, they did. Go to the GAO office. Look. It's there. Guillotines. 30,000 of them. The use of guillotines for governmental purposes, that's on the GAO list. That's what it says. Government Accounting Office says for governmental purposes. Really? It was lobbied for and passed in the U.S. Congress. The information we received is that 15,000 are currently stored in Georgia and another 15,000 stored in Montana. That's right. Are the beheadings by Muslims today meant to desensitize U.S. against the U.S. government beheadings of the future? I don't know. But I want you to think about this. Why does the U.S. government need 30,000 guillotines and over 6 million rounds of hollow point ammunition and over 8 million body bags? Really? I'm sure that's just a drop in the bucket. There are over 800 prison camps in the United States, all fully operational and ready to receive prisoners. Don't think they're not. They're all staffed and even surrounded by full-time guards now, going to work guarding empty camps. I've got testimony, folks. I'm not making this up. They're all empty. These camps are to be operated by FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, should martial law need to be implemented in the United States, and all it would take is a presidential signature on a proclamation and an attorney general signature on a warrant to which a list of names is attached. I want you to ask yourself if you really want to be on that list. It's coming directly from Ted Gunderson, a retired FBI agent, someone that I even know. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis under automatic trigger. In other words, now, President don't even have to authorize it. It's automatic. Automatic. Like an automatic car, you know, when you shift from first to second, it's automatic. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to sign anything. It's automatic now. Go read 11051. Executive Order. Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production, of distribution, of all energy sources, of all wages, of all salaries, of all credit, of all monies, of all flow of all monies in and out of the United States, of all U.S. financial institutions, wherever they may be. It includes all water, land, soil, mineral rights, and even the air you breathe. So when this kicks in, they can control the air you breathe. In any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the president, and now that that's automatic, you don't even have to do that, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months. They signed that. They passed that. Really? Go look it up. Executive Order 11921. Federal Emergency Management Agency has broad powers in every aspect of the nation now. Their teeth in everything imaginable. Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities. That's right. They can come and get you your stuff and tell you to go elsewhere. Legally, you have no right to where you live now. Not even the soil which you mow your own grass on. To build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned and fenced off, and establish new locations for entire populations. This just makes me angry. You don't understand. You ungodly, that elite just bore me. Fed up. You think you can pull the nuclear wool over the eyes of the Watcher Society, who are watching you so very closely. So you're supposed to be scaring us because you are letting your propaganda link out to round us up and imprison and kill and torture us? I don't have a spirit of fear. Those of us who are Christians are free already, saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. You cannot imprison the free. you will pay for your evil deeds too. God, our Heavenly Father, and the Heavenly Father will hold you accountable for all these evil plans of yours. You can kill the body, but you cannot kill the soul. Soul is Christian, we are free already. If the soul is not Christian, then it will be waiting in hell for you to punish you for not allowing it to learn of Jesus Christ and accept Him before you are killed. Then you will learn what hell really means. You'll be torn limb from limb by Satan and his evil angels, as well as all the enemies you have ever made for yourself, all the abominates. Your health care is not going to save you from the eternal death and suffering. You will watch your children, even your young girls, murdered while they live, for they won't be able to die. Eternal damnation. I can't wait to see you suffer over and over for all you in hell that will never die. See all of these crazy things going on. These little wiggly twigglers. Miley Cyrus, the rest of them. Your skimpy outfits will never outlast the blast of heat in hell. Those of you who own mansions, they will burn to the ground and never belong to you again. In fact, I will own a beautiful mansion in heaven and you will have nothing. I will be in the comfort of the bosom of the Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. You think that on this earth you are privileged, that you can have all that you want? Well, not so fast in the next life. No one will be there to do your bidding. No one will be there to kiss your behind. No one will be there to serve your baby's brains. No, no, no. Your brains will be served up to demons on a platter with a side dish, your liver. You think you enjoy watching others in pain in this life? Watch you suffer in the next, and your children and their children. It will be your destiny if you do not accept Jesus Christ. No, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you the facts. Jesus Christ Himself said this. You can only get to heaven through Him. No underground tunnels will protect you from this. It is what you earned by your actions in this life. Later, dudes. I've got a mansion just over the hilltops. You've got a destiny with everlasting hellfire and brimstone. You evil ones that impose your wicked tyranny, you will soon see. Bring your nuclear war on. Bring it! Bring in your UN troops. Bring in your strong cities. Bring in your FEMA camps. You will soon see the faithful rise up in such an uproar that the likes of your strong cities will fall. And I promise you that. Yes, that was my little rant. But it is odd, those who truly see Imam Obama in the spirit, or even in old men's dreams and such, will usually see him like he really is. How many of you have done that? Doesn't God reveal things to us that we would not normally know? IRS Commissioner John Koskin referred congressional charges of corrupt Clinton Foundation pay-to-play activities to his tax agency's exempt operations office for investigation under the full effect of the law, so says the Daily Caller. The request to investigate Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton and their foundation on charges of public corruption was made July 15th. 64 House Republicans sent a letter to the IRS demanding this, and to the FBI and the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. They charged the foundation is lawless. They want to be president. Today I was at a particular food pantry helping out, and I noticed in a talk with one of the employees that he was a staunch Bill Clintonite, And he told me, he said, well, the nation never prospered like it did under Bill Clinton. Oh, I was doing so good. I had it so good. I was doing this and I was doing that. And I was even able to buy and smoke my dope. And I said, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding. This initiative right now is being led by Republican Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. Great state of Tennessee in which I live. Republican who serves as the vice chairwoman of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, which oversees the FTC. And the FTC regulates public charities alongside the IRS. Lawmakers charge the Clinton Foundation as lawless pay-to-play enterprise that has been operating under a cloak of philanthropy for years and should be completely and utterly investigated. Now, Korskin's July 22nd reply came only a week after the House Republicans contacted the tax agency. It arrived to their offices Monday, the first opening day of the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. What a shocker. So now the ones that have been nominated for president are yet again under investigation. What a way to go. That's what the United States is all about now. We don't care if you're corrupt as long as you can do your job. As long as you can operate under the guise of corruption, you're okay. As long as you can forward your tyranny, you're okay. We'll buy into all that because it's probably nonsense, and your tyranny really doesn't hurt us any. Your rating of the Social Security Fund, that really doesn't hurt anything. Your Clinton Foundation robbing taxpayers of billions of dollars, that doesn't hurt anybody. The victimless crime. Exempt Organization Program is the division of the IRS that regulates the operations of public foundations, charities. It's the same division that was led by former IRS official Lois Lerner when hundreds of conservative, evangelical, and Tea Party nonprofit applications were illegally targeted and harassed by tax officials. Blackburn told the DCNF she believes the IRS has a big double standard because they would go after conservative groups and religious groups and organizations, even those with tax-exempt status, but they wouldn't be looking at the Clinton Foundation for years. It was if they chose who they were going to audit and who they were going to question as a matter of use as a weapon by the highest official in the land. That's right. I wonder who would use the IRS as a weapon. Doesn't even sound right, does it? Now, what most don't know is that now, in order to make this stick a little better, there is a congressional oversight watchdog person now sitting in the office of the IRS and is feeding Congress every last little detail. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Hillary Rodham Clinton, a known communist, and she is, believe it or not, a member of the Communist Party. You can look this up, folks. I'm not making this up. She is a communist. Running for the presidency of the United States of America, brings it all home. She has been selected as the most evil contender in this race to the tribulation. Even more evil than Imam Obama. She will put the final touches, or should I say clutches, final squeeze, in bringing America to its very knees. Once she takes the oath of office, it is all finished. I promise you, within 2 weeks of the day she takes the oath of office, there will be a nuclear war. I promise. I don't make promises lightly. I'm a Quaker man, but I'm telling you, I know what will happen. I've seen it. She is the evil one, a demonic morph of the Antichrist in the living colors of the LGBT, and secretly megaphones the death chant with a prideful words of perversion. Love wins. Love wins, huh? She would know love if it hit her in the head. Seen her latest episode of Convulsions. If that is not some kind of demonic or sickly thing that is possessing her, then please be advised something's up. Being of absolute evil and knowing God is love, she blasphemes God to his face in a diabolical attempt at ruling the world. It's alright, I'm knocking stuff off in my little rant. Presidency is being the final step in her greed for power. She is the phoenix rising. She will lay her egg in the nest of our labor and set it on fire to be rebirthed as the phoenix of the united world order, the new world order of Satan. Just like in the Hunger Games, the major female character is the Mockingjay, and Hillary is the phoenix. Want to thank Arthur Linda L. Evans for some of those comments. She will be the embodiment of ancient Isis, empowered by Satan to rebuild Babylon the Great, empowered and backed with the power of the New World Order and the NWR, all of which was brought into being when Obama took his place as president of the so-called free world. Everything is getting hotter. The heat is getting hotter. The sun is getting hotter. The times are getting hotter. It's getting closer. The baby is crowning. The Great Tribulation is almost here. You can look at it. It's all over the world. I believe there are some major hot spots that are about to get much hotter. In fact, I would advise you to be watching the Ukraine. Alexander Cherganov is speaking of martial law there now. Pavel Sherman was murdered in Kiev. He was a leader there. Situation in Donbass has escalated. Meanwhile, Minister of Internal Affairs head Agranov has left on vacation, flown out as quickly as he could. So has Kiev's Mayor Klitschko. And not only just them. Sources in the Ukrainian Ministry of Transport have relayed to Polota Navigator on July 22nd in the late evening a private Gulfstream 200 plane, tail number T7PRM, with President Poroshenko on board, departed Kiev International Airport for Malta, Spain. As Ukrainian media have repeatedly written, Poroshenko has a village near Malga. They are abandoning ship like rats because they know something is coming. President's departure and his absence in the capital have not been really publicized. President, however, in this information that I found out, including even what plane he's left on, is even issuing instructions from his Spanish estate, ruling from Spain, Ukraine. On Monday, for example, he instructed the Prime Minister and Mayor of Kiev to strengthen security measures for public safety for a coming onslaught. Really? Don't think that place is not about to heat up. Question remains, why have Ukrainian leaders suddenly decided to leave Ukraine? Abandoning ship. So far, there's been no answer. My feeling is that Russia is about to pour some serious heat right onto the fire there, and it's making for quite a scene. It appears that the FSG has infiltrated the hierarchy with assassins. I hate to say that about a country that I am passionate about. I have friends there. Wish them well. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, is in the process of making a neural coding device capable of controlling artificial limbs when seated in the brain. The device has had success in animal studies, and the first human trials are set for 2017. Pentagon has subsidized this and the institution of $62 million to help foster this mind-controlling technology. Controls it right through thought waves to what is being controlled. Now that's some mind-altering, powerful technology. Mainstream media is pushing for the microchipping of children sooner rather than later. In fact, so is the Pentagon. In a letter I recently received from a viewer, I've been able to verify that the Pentagon, and it has now been recently televised in a NBC News report, that the news station purported, as well as the Pentagon, the microchipping of children by the state was soon to be as normal as barcodes for consumers on their breakfast cereal. So when barcodes first came out in the late 1960s, people were appalled. They really were. I remember that. They were wary of them, and they didn't understand the concept. They thought this might be the mark of the beast. Today it is so commonplace we don't even notice it. A microchip would work the very same way, according to the Pentagon. We will, quote, get used to it. This declaration is a reflection of the mentality of the mainstream media, which sees people as objects fit for the labeling rather than persons with intrinsic moral value. Though DARPA touts the brain chips as a way to protect children, in actuality, this sort of technology has more to do with control than it does public safety. So they want to put this chip in your children's head so that future technologies can be controlled by only a thought. You thought them staring at a cell phone was bad. They are attempting to control the masses. Whenever the establishment wants to control the masses, they assemble a list of cheap talking points to scare the population into abiding by its agenda. Whenever the mainstream media pushes vaccines even, for example, all they list is the possible ways a person may become very sick and die if they don't get such shots. Really? You're going to die if you don't get Gardasil. I'm glad my grandmother didn't get it. And whenever the government wishes to corrode privacy rights, they do so in the name of protecting the public from would-be terrorists. Several pet owners, many, have already microchipped their dogs and cats to keep tabs on them should they get stolen or lost. Therefore, the microchip proponents argue it's not too much of a stretch to start microchipping children, as the Pentagon wants at birth, for similar purposes. They are now about to propose legislation for this. Are you listening? Did you hear me? Propose legislation now. It's going to be pushed right through Congress now. Problem is that most people are not aware of the dangers of this and reasoning that it poses, which is why mind-controlling technology is not being more widely opposed. Oh, it'll control your cell phone. It's okay. According to a statement by DARPA, the brain chip would enable data transfer bandwidth between the human brain and the digital world, freeing digital, auditory, and visual information into the brain, thereby eliminating the need for computers. Really? Really? They're just going to directly control you. We're going to open the channel between the human brain and modern electronics. Now, folks, if that is not the beast system, what is? In short, they are developing mind control chips that can be inserted into the brains of babies from the cradle. As the Waking Times explains, the military explores a well-known term, mission creep, which the Pentagon believes refers to the expansion of a military project beyond its original goals that it has yet to foster public support. If the military wants to invade a country, for example, they will first take over nearby regions and establish a military base around the desired country in an effort to boost the likelihood of winning. That's what NATO is doing now. In the same way, the public has been coerced under this same exact strategy into the number of unjustifiable wars, unjustifiable actions, brain implants, motions before Congress to have your children chipped. DARPA is now trying to coerce the public into submitting to complete mind control. And they say they can do it. They have mastered the technology. Imagine that. Even Google now has spoken out on this. After looking through the Pentagon papers, Google has endorsed the DARPA mind control chips. This is Google. That way Google can go directly into your brain. We'll just Google something in his brain. Oh, I know Roger. Roger lives in another state. We'll Google Roger's mind. We don't need a computer. I just Googled Roger's mind. He said he remembers that event. Oh, yeah, look. I see everything that Roger did that day. Ooh, I'm telling his mama. Folks, if you don't think this stuff is serious, you have no idea what they're fixing to put in your children's heads. Now, I talked to my Marine contact, we're going to shift gears a minute, who indeed is a commander of a FEMA camp, and is indeed a Marine full bird colonel, and indeed my source for this, and that this week his own camp, this is no kidding, folks, I've got this ironclad. I know this gentleman. I've had him on my show before on a past network. Many of you may remember him. He received sealed, hardened computers this week. Hardened computers. Special radio internet links to the Utah data center. Now, I've been telling you that was going to happen for a long time. At these FEMA camps, they were going to process you, and they would backload all of your Facebook information because, of course, after this nuclear war, you're not going to have your ID on you. They're not going to know who you are. You're going to be burnt, ragged, torn, depressed, in need of hunger, food, care, medical assistance. And when you arrive at these FEMA camps to be processed, to be cleaned, to be scrubbed, to be interned, to be indoctrinated, to be found out who you are. They will backload all of this Facebook and other information using these special computers and radio internet links to the Utah data center and medical shipments, he said, that also included both scanners for implanting in humans and scanning them, as well as millions of microchips. Folks, I'm not kidding. I have this firsthand. He was dead serious, and so am I. This is real. This is happening. This is not some kind of conspiracy theory. This is not some kind of all-out, oh, I wish this weren't happening. This is real. There's an all-out push now to make ready at least 22 of the FEMA camps for over 2 million people. I asked him, well, why not more? And the reply was, there's not going to be that many left alive to need to use them. That was right out of his mouth yesterday. He said the government was so far, seems to think from what their actions are, that something huge is on the way before January 1, and the need of the deployment of the Strong Cities Network. And I asked him, well, how he felt about World War because, or some kind of nuclear exchange, and he said, you know, I've been around the block more than once, and I can tell you this, to me, this is the most bizarre actions I have ever seen come from the Pentagon to my command. Really? And folks, he may get in trouble for this. I don't know how many Marine colonels there are in command of FEMA camps. He is likely not the only one, but still, his life would probably be in danger if they knew who was linking this information to me. So you better take this information and you better be wake up. Waked up by this. It is real. Hardened computers. Really? Last year, the CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, attended a Bilderberg conference with former DARPA employees and Google executive Regina Duggan, where he voiced support of this very DARPA technology, and says that if you have something that you don't want anybody to know, maybe you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Referring to the fact that soon every human brain in the next generation coming, he so believes, will be completely interconnected. Won't be any secrets then, will there? We won't need the internet for certain things, will we? We don't need you to type at all because we will know you are there. We will know who you are. We will know your thoughts. We will know without or with your permission. We will know where you've been. We will know everything. We will know more or less even the very passions that you may be having in the flesh, he continued. Ladies and gentlemen, Schmidt specifically referred to these DARPA brain chips in the same interview. And it's what I call the creepy line. It's not just my red line, it is the creepy red line. And that Google policy with a lot of these things get you right there up front to the creepy red line. And you think, well, I use Google Chrome. I use this, and I don't mind Google. I don't know something, I Google it. What do you think the future of Google wants with your brain and your children's brain? Without a doubt, mainstream media and DARPA will continue to tout the benefits of this technology. But I believe, as well as many others, we will not even get to that point. You see, evil forecasts itself. It unravels, and their mission is not stop. If this event doesn't occur, they have other events planned. If that event doesn't occur, they have another event planned. Eventually, they will get to every single human, whether they wipe them out in a grand fireball or whether they chip their brain. But now, with the arrival of these cat and dog microchips at FEMA camps, this is real. I have it firsthand, folks. If you want to see my proof, come and find me. I will get you as close to this gentleman as I can without exposing his cover. But I'm telling you, folks, this is real. I'm not here to make up stuff. I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to do anything but inform you that you better have your life right with Jesus Christ. You better have your prayer life down. You better understand what it means to treat your neighbor as yourself. You better understand why you're preparing. You better understand why you're prepping. Now, did you know the federal government has a bounty, $500, for anyone who will call their hotline about a prepper? That's right. You can get a free check. $500. Come report me. I may not be prepping. You may not be prepping either. But someone, $500 is a lot of money. And they'll be happy to turn you in, without a doubt. You know, ladies and gentlemen, and the Watchers Prophecy News and the Watchers Society, we attempt to publish every type of link that we can. We know Julia Assad and his current WikiLeaks that are constantly linking papers that may or may not lead to a Clinton indictment. Julian Assange has made good on his word so far. And we can only hope that in our lifetime that these things happen, so that as the patriots have said before us, that if war comes, let it come in our lifetime, because I would like my children to live free. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. My name is Mars. I'm host of the Watchers Prophecy News, and we want you to come back. It just, to me, feels so hopeless sometimes, but I know that God has this. Therefore, I will not live or work in a spirit of fear. But I do work hard on this, work hard on the radio shows, Facebook, social media, YouTube. I practically work 24/7 to wake people up, teach them, educate them, inform them, try to get back to the Father, and yet I'm hated by thousands, maybe even millions. For every one person that supports my show, a hater has to pop up and stand up against me. But you know, I'm not a preacher. I don't go in there and just preach to those that already agree with him. I'm out here to make enemies, because I know if I do, the devil is fighting me because he doesn't like me. But I know that in doing what I'm doing, and to have haters, I must be doing something right. And I don't do this as much for the awake as I do for the asleep. I hardly make any money off this at all, and I can hardly survive. I have but one current sponsor, and yet I'm supposed to somehow survive on a tiny SSI check that constantly is threatened by our government. But I keep moving on. But I'm getting tired, folks. I'm getting tired of their BS, and I'm not going to give up. Certainly not going to give up these shows anytime soon. And in fact, the ones who have blessed me, like the owners of KW Radio, the Hardens, and others, with various equipment, is the reason why I have not given up this fight. I will not let you down, but should I fall, I fully expect you to come and pick up my sword and carry on, because yes, I am that dog in the tank. My name is Mars. This has been the Watchers Prophecy News. Come back and see me next Wednesday at 8 p.m. for a repeat of this show, and next Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on KW Radio. And I hope you enjoy our music. It's coming up next. Thank you and good night.